Hey everybody, my name's Chris, and welcome to The Office Field Guide, a show where I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever, and today is New Year's Eve 2020, and it's kind of fitting that we're gonna cover Baby Shower, which is an episode all about new beginnings.
Well, you know what? Where's my golden shower, Phyllis?
Baby Shower was written by a newcomer for my show, Shure, who wrote all of these episodes of The Office, as well as produced episodes well into season 9. He's an Emmy Award-winning writer for his work on Everyone Loves Raymond. Shure also plays a waiter in Secretary's Day, so there's that. Moving on, Baby Shower was directed by showrunner Greg Daniels. It originally aired on October 16th, 2008, was viewed by 8 million people, and currently has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. All right, and your Baby Shower trivia is, what is the brand name of Jan's stroller? Okay, as always, I run these comment contests in these videos. Be the first to leave the trivia, spout out the Easter egg, and or leave the best emoji sequence summing up next week's episode, and you'll get your name in that video. Okay, and today we're gonna talk about saying goodbye to the old, hello to the new, who's the best singer in the Office cast, as well as who this baby is. Now, as always, there may be spoilers for the series ahead, so be warned. All right, let's deliver this one.
Mark it secretly in a kind of a mark that only you could recognize and no baby snatcher could ever copy.
Okay. I understand nothing.
Okay, I always appreciated this montage with Michael and the babies. It's a solid reminder of what's already been established, which is that Michael has this childlike persona, and he does well with kids, as seen in Halloween, and Take Your Daughter to Work Day, and eventually the finale.
Michael has so many pictures of his kids, he had to get 2 phones with 2 numbers, and he pays 2 bills. He's just so happy to have a family plan.
Little kid lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
Also, I'll mention that in this montage, this is Michael Shure's wife and kid. Michael's married to JJ Philbin, who's Regis Philbin's daughter, so that's your fun fact for today. But as great as this montage is, this episode always has given me this dread. As Jim explains in the opening, in what has become a solid meme, why this situation is so screwed up. It's established that Michael wants a family so badly, which is why what Jan does here might be one of the worst things she's ever done to Michael. She's the one who invited him into this process with her, and Michael dove right in.
I'm going to be kind of a daddy.
And that makes this reveal, this moment, such a kick in the junk to Michael. It made me wonder what the worst things that Jan ever did to Michael are. So here's a list of the top things that Jan ever did to Michael.
And a poor branch manager, I recommend he be removed from that position and reassigned to sales where he belongs.
As shown in the deposition episode, while the corporate side is trying to get Michael to side with them, their lawyer reads from Jan's performance review about Michael.
Mr. Scott, after hearing that, wouldn't you say that Ms. Levinson's judgment is at least very seriously flawed?
And look, I get it, she's a boss. She really shouldn't be favoring an employee she's having sex with over every other employee. But to do this secretly, it feels backhanded. Without even trying to coach Michael, it's just a major slap in the face of anyone that's in a relationship with their boss, I guess. Moving on. Their sleeping arrangement. As Michael reveals in the dinner party episode,
Jen has some space issues, so I curl up on that puppy.
and we've seen how she sleeps during the Fun Run episode, forcing Michael to sleep on this little thing is definitely bizarre, but it's par for the course for how she essentially took over his condo when she moved in. Moving on.
Whoa, 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 what are you doing with my diary?
This is Plaintiff's Exhibit 107.
Okay, so being someone who's never journaled anything before that wasn't for a school assignment, I can't directly relate with this one. I do what normal people do, and that's repress all of my thoughts and emotions to the point that they just go away.
You'll see.
But it's one thing to stumble on Michael's diary and then read it. It's a whole nother thing to analyze it so much so that you can use it as evidence in a deposition. And it's an entirely whole different level of low when you take that journal with you and enter it into evidence in that deposition.
You expect to get screwed by your company, but you never expect to get screwed by your girlfriend.
I mean, this is a human being's personal thoughts and emotions.
Just as hot as Jan, but in a different way.
And there's even this sense of security that you have when you journal these things down in your own diary. This betrayal is just beyond belief for me.
But we had sex 6 times, so you tell me. I am definitely feeling very eerie.
Diary.
Okay, this one isn't for the kids, so skip here if you don't want to hear this grown-up talk. Their sex life was so incredibly unhealthy.
The worst part is that she shows it to her therapist and they discuss it.
As revealed in the Women's Appreciation episode, but also as well as in the Cocktails episode. Once Jan's presented with some of the devastating issues in her relationship with Michael, she turns to the one thing that makes her feel like this relationship is worthwhile. And look, sexual aspect of a relationship is important, but if it lacks genuine intimacy, it's bound to feel empty, and that's really what their relationship is. But therapy Chris out. Speaking of therapy though, let's not forget why Jan's in this relationship in the first place.
My psychiatrist thinks that I have some self-destructive tendencies and that for once, I should indulge them. You following me?
Yes.
That's right, in this episode, she really acknowledges that she's trying to induce some sort of rock bottom experience in her life. And she drags Michael down into this abyss, which is a low thing, but it's not the worst. The vasectomies. Right, so Michael sums it up pretty good here.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
I probably shouldn't have to explain too much here, but Jan, knowing that she's currently trying to get pregnant at the facility by the IHOP, is either directly responsible or at least culpable for putting Michael through
The physical toll the 3 vasectomies have on a person.
That's unthinkable. But that does lead us to number 1. Which does bring us back to the baby shower episode, and that's after the relationship fails in spectacular fashion. For some reason, maybe guilt or some sense of normalcy, Jan invites Michael into the birthing process, knowing that fatherhood is maybe the biggest deal on the planet for him.
Because I want to play ball with my kids before I get too old.
Only to exclude him from the event entirely. And even more than that, not telling him that the baby was born at all. This moment,
Oh no.
has all of the impact of 1,000 gut punches to Michael. It's dysfunction to the highest, and it solidifies her character as a villain in my mind. But I did speak to that in the recent Most Hated Characters of The Office video, but let me be really clear here. Michael did a ton of screwed up stuff to Jan as well, but I think we're talking apples and oranges. Jan knows better, Michael's proven to just be ignorant. And to that point, it's alluded that Michael might have created some chaos at the Lamaze class.
The birth instructor thought it wasn't a good idea for me to be there, so
He had no sense of humor, and I proved him wrong.
So maybe he did deserve the avoidance. I don't know. Either way, I do think that that is an episode we were robbed of. Michael in a Lamaze class is an opportunity for cringe comedy gold. But the baby shower, there's so much to love during this actual event. You get to see another outside montage. This one is of Dwight testing the stroller, which I think this montage is a great candidate for those people that do the Office out of context stuff, because it's pretty disturbing if you're unaware that there's no baby actually in this stroller.
Stuck in the barbed wire!
I do love that The Office filmed this just next door to the actual building they filmed The Office. You can see the building in the background here. And then during this event, we also see Jan singing, which while it's clear that she is pretty damaged at this point,
learning from each other's knowing, looking to see how much we've grown at.
I did enjoy listening to her sing, and I was curious if I could find anything else that Hardin sang in, and I found this video with pretty low views with her singing a song from The Greatest Showman. It's pretty good, maybe a little too theatrical for me, but she's got a really great voice. I won't play the clip because it's got copyright all over it, same for the rest of these, but it got me wondering who the best singer from The Office cast is. I mean, clearly we have members like Andy, who have plenty of on-screen time to demonstrate their talent. In addition to Andy, we get a little bit of Brian Baumgartner's singing talent.
You ought to know.
But there is a great video of Baumgartner singing during high school. But in addition to that, there's Craig Robinson, Rashida Jones, and obviously Creed Bratton. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to add a comment below. I need you to go in and comment who you think should be considered the best singer from The Office cast. I'm going to create a poll later with the best of the best, and then obviously go and vote on your favorite character. Next time there's a musical moment in The Office, I'll talk about those findings. But there's still a ton more to talk about here, so let's just go rapid fire. When Michael interrupts Phyllis's talking head, you can see Angela in the background nice and satisfied. It does remind me of the Survivor Man episode also.
Nobody cares.
I'm sure a lot of people noticed this, but as Jan leaves, she left the gift stroller just sitting there. And I've always loved this exchange.
That's not you.
Yes, it is. 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 Yes, it is.
The Dunder Mifflin Infinity site had this matching game on it back in the day to determine who is who from that board. I don't know if I can pick everyone out, but with that, let's dive into the deeper meaning.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
Okay, so you're watching this when it's released, then saying the phrase that 2020 sucks surely is an understatement.
I don't know what the that was.
I mean, in so many ways, this has been a wreck of a year. Obviously, things could be worse, and undoubtedly, humans have undergone way worse years than what we've just endured. And perspective matters, right? And that works on both fronts. We need to remember that things could be so much worse, but that doesn't mean that in our modern day life, with the sensibilities and the somewhat limited perspective that we have, that physical and mental health concerns were a real dilemma this year. Interestingly, no matter where you come at things with the US presidential election, the pandemic, or any of the other insanely politicized craziness that was this last year, I think that we can all agree that we just wish this year would be a wash. But in my opinion, we do a disservice to our personal growth if we just forget the hardships that we had that were clear and present. And I think that's what this episode presents, and it's a beautiful thing. It's Michael's opportunity to see through all of the crap that Jan's put him through over this last year. And because of all of this, Michael's able to see how unhealthy his willingness to be manipulated into this dysfunctional sense of fatherhood has been.
That's different.
You feel connected to this?
That's not a baby.
You want to hold me? See how you feel?
All in all, Jan is a lot like 2020. And as this year closes out, the holiday season just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same. It's like this year's one last attempt to screw us.
There is one more thing that you can do for me.
Okay.
Don't date Holly.
Like 2020 setting the pace for next year, telling us don't embrace it, don't rise above it, don't thrive, don't pursue your passions, don't. Well, take a note from Michael.
Want to go out?
Yes.
Screw 2020, and honestly, who knows what this next year will bring, whether it's gonna be better or worse, it doesn't really matter. Time's a construct, and what we do with the time we're given, that's what matters. It's a choice, and that's what I think this episode means to me. And that's why it's a beautiful episode to close this year out on. It's almost kismet.
Kismet? Yeah, right.
This is the worst.
Right, having said all that, I doubt that this episode is anyone's favorite by any stretch of the imagination. I give this cold opening a 4 out of 5. I do enjoy the middle school antics of these two guys, and Jim's moment with the whiteboard has gone down in the meme fame. As for this episode, well, most of this one I can't stand until we get to the closing moments, in which Michael asks Holly out, and it's incredibly well acted. Additionally, the connected but disconnected voicemail thing with Jim and Pam is such a great sequence, one that I've always super appreciated. It's a snapshot in time before these types of conversations would have just genuinely been text-based. All up, I give this one a 3 out of 5. It's good, it's not great, but that's just what I think about Baby Shower. What do you think? I want to hear from you in the comments. Also, don't forget about commenting who your favorite singer from the main cast is, as well as the normal comment contest. Thanks so much for watching. Next week we're going to be looking at Crime Aid.
Crime reduces innocence, makes everyone angry, I declare.
And don't forget, there's more opportunities to connect as we have a Discord server set up. It's a pretty cool place to chat about The Office, other shows, and honestly, people just talk about whatever on there. It's pretty neat. I'm planning on doing some live events coming up soon, so join that if you're interested. If not, it's cool. I would have never joined a Discord had it not been set up for me for this channel. So, but I'm enjoying it, it's cool. Thank you so much for watching, and appreciate it, and click subscribe. And see you later.